Let me tell you about Nick. So I met Nick because he was a server, and we lived in a university town, so we started talking, and he said, oh yeah, I'm graduating in 2 weeks, I'll be out of here. I said, oh, what are you gonna do? And he said, oh, I'm gonna be an engineer. And I said, oh, great. Do you have any plans? I know that's a hard question. Sometimes people don't like it when you ask that. He goes, no. He goes, I have plans. My dad has an engineering firm, and I can go and work in his engineering firm. That's what I'm probably gonna do. And I looked at him as any life coach would, and I said, listen, you don't seem too excited about that. Tell me more. And he said, well, I did the thing. I did what everybody thought I should do. I went and got a degree in engineering. I have, expertise. I did the internships, all good, and I've got this great company that I can work for. I don't want to. And I said, well, what do you want to do? And he goes, well, actually, I kind of want to work in underwater movie scenes and engineer things like that. And I want to have some fun kind of doing that, but combining with my love for marine biology. I want to do something that's sustainable and that's kind to the environment. But I kind of want to just, use what I know, but do it in a way that feels like a hobby to me. I want to love what I'm doing, and I'm not gonna. Well, then he walks away. He comes back, and I said, did you ever think that you could love what you're doing? And he's like, yeah, but I got to make money, and I got to, do the things, and everybody would be disappointed in me. And I looked at him and I said, prepare to disappoint people for the rest of your life. I said, listen, you don't have to go that route. I know it probably feels like it's the best and everybody wants you to do it, but you got to come back to what you want and what you desire. He said, give me your card. And I never heard from him again. No problem. Who knows? Maybe that was a seed for him. But these stories happen all the time. I had another friend, Michael, who came forward and said, I live in a city I don't love. I hang out with people I don't love. I'm working a job I don't love. Nothing about this is for me. And I said, well, who's in charge? And he said, I have no idea. And I said, you've just lost your way. You have choices in this matter. And oftentimes we start to put experts out there, these outsiders that are in charge of what's important for us, what matters to us. And when we make decisions, we think of what everyone else thinks we should do, right? We get this external voice. Well, everybody thinks I should do this. Everybody wants me to do this. Everybody believes this is what I should be doing. I'm 7'3", I should be a basketball player, something that basic, right? But something that everyone's always telling you to do. And when we do that, we let the experts be outside of us. We no longer are listening to our internal wisdom. Martha Beck shares this concept of your internal committee, and she calls it your everybody committee, and how it really does shape your actions based on subconscious predictions. So, when we're babies, right? When we're mushy, we start to form these committees in our head. And all of a sudden we let these influences happen. Now, parents are supposed to influence their children. It's not a bad thing, right? But when I realized that I am on my 3 kids' everybody committee, big gulp, holy cow. Do I deserve to be there? Am I looking out for what's best for them? And I go back and forth, right? I'm kind of on the fence about that. Sometimes I say, well, I want to give guidance and I want to give my experience and wisdom, but I also want to make sure that I'm cultivating what it is that they want. And so when you start thinking about who's on your everybody committee, who are the outside experts, it's important to say, do they have my best interest at heart? Remember, you might disappoint, just like Nick. Prepare yourself for that. You can shape a positive committee, right? You can fire people. They don't have to be. They don't get to be your committee that tells you what to do. You can hire people that want you to authentically live your life without fear of judgment. That is something you can be in charge of. Now, I understand circumstances, situations might keep you in a space for a while, but at what cost? When are you going to use your own internal wisdom to make sure that you are making choices that are in alignment with you, who you are? So know your own self. If you don't know your own self, get to know your own self. There are ways to do that. You are your own best expert. And I'm going to just say, be courageous with your own wisdom. Make choices that might shock people. Make waves. It's okay. Because when you start doing that, you get in alignment, and boy, oh boy, people start to honor that. People start to see you in your light, and they want more of that for you and for the world. Go get it.